Services Minister and...
The figures revealed today show the alarming scale of child sex abuse church in Australia.
Hey guys, welcome to the JW Untold Truth channel. So this is day 1 part 5 of the Australian Royal Commission, and this is when BCB will give clarification of her statement that she gave before, and we're gonna see some clear points of her statement that weren't that clear previously. So I hope you guys like the highlights so far, and also stay tuned for the next couple of videos, because this is where we're gonna start seeing the elders and the circuit overseer giving statements, and this is gonna get very hairy from now on. Let's see what we can learn from our beloved organization. So stay tuned and let's see what we can learn from this episode.
Questions I want to ask by way of clarification or elaboration. You speak in paragraph 12 of your statement, and perhaps that can come up on the screen. About meetings being held, including at someone's house. Were those meetings organised by the elders?
Yes.
And after Bill Neal had stood down, after the elders had met with you and so on, and he stood down, you say in paragraph 16 that you continued to attend meetings at the Neal's home. Did he, as presiding overseer, or who organised those meetings, because he was no longer an elder? Were those meetings organised by...
They must have been organised by Max Hawley.
So those types of meetings, are they always organised by the elders?
Yes.
In the congregation?
Yes.
And did you ask not to have to continue attending meetings at the Neal's home?
I didn't. Did I ask? I did ask to change book study groups, that's right. I asked to go to the one at the hall.
Okay. Was that so you did not have to attend at the Neal's home?
Yes, I didn't want to, because Bronwyn wasn't talking to me, and I didn't want to see Bill in their house.
And who did you ask that of?
I don't remember, but maybe I spoke to my mum. Maybe I asked Max. Rena said, "Mate, oh my God."
That's all right. That's all right.
BCC said maybe I spoke to Max. I don't remember.
All right, that's fine. You don't remember. Do you remember what response you got?
I was just told that I had to go there.
All right. If we scroll up to 17 on the statement. You say in the last sentence that you remember being discouraged from forming friendships with other children who were not Jehovah's Witnesses. This is when you were still at school.
Yeah.
Did you have an understanding of why you were discouraged from forming such friendships, or what was said to be the teaching behind that?
There are a couple of scriptures. One was bad association spoils useful habits. And the other one was that Jesus said that we are no part of this world. So, I had friends at school. They were nice girls. But we were just friends at school, not outside of school.
And in what you were taught as a young girl growing up in the Jehovah's Witness church, were you taught anything about the police, or how to view or understand the police and their role?
No, I don't remember anything specifically being said about the police.
You say in paragraph 30, perhaps we can go to that. You said at the end of 1983, having completed year 10, you left high school. Why did you leave high school at that time?
The Neils didn't encourage further education. And they encouraged us to either get married and have children or to pioneer, which is preach full time. And so I didn't really consider doing TAE as it was in those days. Didn't consider going to university. It wasn't a consideration for me. And so I was going to leave after year 10, but my dad said, you don't have any qualifications to get a job. So he encouraged me to do a year 11 vocational business course, which was actually part of the school. And I'm glad he did that, because then I was able to get a good job.
And your father was not part of the Jehovah's Witness Church, is that right?
No.
And your experience of what the Neils told you about, presumably their daughters, about leaving school, was that something you experienced in other families in the Jehovah's Witness Church?
It just wasn't, university wasn't really talked about as an option. Most people just left after year 10 and got a job.
We could look at your paragraph 73. Say that after you contacted the Royal Commission and reported your story, you had huge feelings of guilt about coming forward with the story, and you felt as though you were betraying the Jehovah's Witnesses in doing so. Are you able to identify what is the source of that guilt? Why do you feel that it's a betrayal?
Because it's an ugly story, and it doesn't portray them in a very good light, like the people who dealt with the brothers who dealt with my situation. And I feel like I do feel like I'm dragging Jehovah's name through the mud.
You've given in your statement some details of the impact that the abuse has had on your health. Is there anything you'd like to add in relation to that, or anything you'd like the brothers to know about the effect of child sexual abuse?
Yeah, I've been... when I had my breakdown, I was not well before that. I was going downhill for a long time before that. I was getting paranoid. I was thinking that people at school, when I dropped the kids off at school, I was thinking that they were all talking about me and judging me. I was thinking that the neighbours were all judging me, talking about me. One morning, the lawnmower man came to mow the lawns, and I thought he was going around to all the doors and windows and deliberately trying to scare me. And I went into the games room with the kids and hid behind the doll's house, and I said to them, "Don't let him see me." And they were laughing at me and going, "What's wrong with you, Mummy?" And I think I scared them a little bit, or they just thought I was being strange. And when I told my friend about what happened to me, because she knew, she guessed that this is the reason why I had my breakdown was because I told my close friend about a little bit about what happened, and she knew who it was, and I got scared that it was all going to come out and everyone was going to know about it, and it really scared me. And the next couple of weeks I lost 15 kilos because I was so anxious, and I was really sick. I couldn't get out of bed. I had no energy. I couldn't get out of bed, and I was hyperventilating. I was breathing into a paper bag all day long. And one day my dad was staying with me every day. They were probably scared for me. And he said, "Have you eaten anything today?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You should eat something." So he made me a piece of toast, and I was chewing it and chewing it. And I ended up having to spit it out because I had no saliva in my mouth. And thank goodness I ended up going to the psychiatrist, and he put me on antidepressants, and otherwise I don't know what I would have done. I just wanted to go to sleep and not wake up. And I thought about taking sleeping pills, but I just kept thinking about my husband and my kids, and I couldn't do it to them.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Does anyone else have any questions?
No, Your Honour.
I do, Your Honour, with the Commission, please. I do.
You do? Yes.
BCB, obviously I represent you before the Commission. If I could take you to, excuse me, your initial complaint, if you like, to BCF.
Yes.
And that you talk about it at paragraph, excuse me, I think it's 48 of your statement. She had indicated to you that she had suffered abuse from her uncle.
Yes.
That's right. And then you told her, as you note in your statement, that something had happened to you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you give her any details about, not about the perpetrator, but what had happened to you?
A little bit. Like, I know I said in my statement that I told her what happened to me, but I didn't tell her everything that happened to me. I just said, something similar happened to me.
Did she give you the specifics of her abuse?
Not really. That was a long time ago. I can't really remember exactly.
So when you say something similar had happened to me,
yeah.
did you tell her any more about what had happened to you?
Yes, I told her about how my friend's father had used to stick his tongue in my mouth when he kissed me, and that he came into the bathroom and perved at me, and I think that might have been all I spoke to her about. I did tell her about him coming into my room and wanting to show me his penis. Yeah.
Is the next thing that you can recall, just in relation to how these meetings came about between with Max Hawley and Doug Jackson and Bill Neal? Is it the case that you were out preaching?
Yes.
And Max drove up to you?
He drove up to me, yes. I was out in the preaching work, and he drove up to me and he said, "Oh, can I come and visit you this afternoon?" And he wanted to visit.
Who
My
were you with
husband
at the
and I.
time, if anybody?
I think I was with my husband. And
Do you remember what you said to him when he asked, "Can I come and visit?"
yes, I said he could come round that afternoon. Yeah.
And did Max come alone to your home on that
Yes.
occasion?
Yeah, the
Do you
first
remember-
time.
Do you remember what he said to you?
Yes, he started talking about if you told a friend something, some information that was quite serious, and I think he was trying to explain that BCF was obviously feeling bad because she'd told someone about what I'd said and was
You
worried
personally-
about my reaction.
And is it the case that you realised that he was talking about the
That's when I realised that
contact with Bill Neal,
that BCF had told somebody about what I told her.
and you burst into tears at that
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
And the next thing you recall is it the case that there was a meeting with Max present, is that right?
Yes.
Doug Jackson and
No, the next meeting was Max and Bill and my husband and I.
so Max and Bill and your husband and yourself. So
Yes.
2 elders were present,
Yes,
but one of them was your abuser.
yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And was that at your home?
That was in my lounge room.
At the time, did you feel, I'll withdraw that, you were 22 at the time, is that right?
Oh yeah, I think I was 22, yes. We'd just been married for a couple of years.
And you were both in the faith, is
Yes.
that right? And you remain in the faith, is that right?
I'm taking a break
Right.
at the moment.
But at the time, you certainly, is it the case, didn't feel that you could question the process of what was occurring?
I was just doing as I was told.
And when you say just doing as you were told, do you mean from Max Hawley?
Yes.
You indicate.
I assumed that he knew the correct procedure, and I was just going along with what he said because I respected him.
Were you told by Max that if there had been indecent contact between you and Bill that you could go to the police?
No,
That you should go to the police?
No.
That it was criminal behaviour
no,
that you were alleging?
no.
When Bill Neal attended with Max, were you pressed for detail as to what Bill had?
Yes,
done to you?
Max said, I believe that Bill, in the course of whatever they were asking me, he said, I believe that Bill asked you if you wanted to see his penis. And I said yes. And then Bill looked at me and said, do you think I was joking? And I said, I don't know.
Did you feel at the time that you were really being invited to question your own belief in what had happened?
Yes. I was questioning whether I misunderstood.
And the next meeting was also at your home, is that right?
Yes.
And present was Doug Jackson and Max Hawley and Bill again.
Yes.
Looking back on it now, how do you feel about the appropriateness of the first meeting, Max coming with Bill, your abuser, to your home?
I felt very, very uncomfortable. I couldn't say anything about what really happened with him there because I felt like he still had control over me and what I said, and that whatever I said would be, he would be cross-examining me and saying that it was my word against his.
So when you say he would be cross-examining, you meant your
Bill.
abuser, Bill Neal.
Yes.
you were fearful of that, and indeed it did occur. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you understand what the process was?
No.
Did you understand why this was occurring, why these people were attending your home and violating your space, if you like, in relation to this inquiry?
I didn't question their methods because I thought they would know the correct procedure because they were the authority in the church, in Jehovah's Witnesses.
And did you understand it was an inquiry as to whether or not Bill should remain an elder? Was that ever explained to you?
Not really. I guess I still just thought it was my word against his, and that they were just trying to find out what happened.
Were you, having been raised from 10 in the faith of Jehovah's Witness, did you understand the rules, if you like, about when someone makes an accusation against another? That is...
With minor incidents, you approach the person and try to sort it out with each other if you can. If you can't, you... I know now that you can talk to two trusted friends, two trusted sisters in the congregation. I didn't understand that at the time, though. I don't know whether that was ever a rule.
When I say a rule, do you understand that it's a reliance upon biblical teaching is noted for this, that for someone to be found guilty within the church of wrongdoing or within the faith, they have to either have confessed or that there be two or more witnesses?
I didn't know any kind of... I didn't know that then.
Now, can I ask you this? Did you feel when the two elders were at your home at the second meeting and Max was present with Doug and Bill, did you feel in control of the process?
No.
Did you feel supported?
No, I didn't feel supported. I guess in a way I was trying to control it because I didn't tell the full story.
Yes. Do you feel now that you should have been encouraged at that time to go to the police?
Yes.
You have an understanding now that Bill Neal's conduct towards you in relation to the tongue kissing is at least assaults of an indecent kind?
Yes.
And that the incident in the bathroom where you were penetrated and oral sex performed upon you were arguably incidents of sexual intercourse without consent?
Yes.
Just in relation to the process that took place, do you think that you should have been confronted by your abuser at the time in your own home?
No.
And do you think there should have been females involved?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing
Thank
further.
you so much.
Does anyone else have any questions?
No, Your Honour.
Thank you, BCB. Thank you for coming and telling us your story.
Welcome.
You're
Thank
formally
you.
excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.